In this video, we'll debate the RotoWire Week 14 Value Meter every week, presented by Jeff Erickson. Jeff, how long have you been doing the Value Meter now, by the way?
I'd say it's at least 15 years.
Let's start off with San Francisco. Why are you so low on Brock Purdy in Week 14?
The production hasn't been there recently. The Niners offensive line is a shambles. We don't know if Trent Williams is going to be able to play. Christian McCaffrey is out for the season. Purdy's passing numbers have been down, period. They miss Ayuk. They don't have the guy that can take it off the top. And I think the matchup against the Bears is sneaky tough. So all those reasons have me shying away from Purdy this week.
All right. So if somebody's looking at like Brock Purdy versus Kirk Cousins, is that maybe a line of demarcation for you, even though because Cousins coming off the terrible 4-interception game?
3 terrible games in a row with Kirk Cousins. It's gross. That's a gross decision to have. And I think this is a bad matchup at Minnesota and that Brian Flores defense too.
Do you know what the answer was in the Chargers backfield? Nobody, none of the above, right? Like in Brewster's Million, none of the above. J.K. Dobbins was like a top 12 running back for many weeks. This is supposed to be a running team with a fortified offense that features the run. Now we can't get any running production.
Wild to see how failureistic the Chargers offense was. That's not a word, but we're going to go with it anyhow here. Chargers couldn't get 200 yards of offense against the Atlanta Falcons. They gave up 5 sacks in this game. This is a really putrid offensive performance by both teams. They missed J.K. Dobbins. I think that part is pretty clear. Gus Edwards got 7 carries. Vidal got 7 carries. They didn't get a whole lot of work, period. They just didn't run that many plays. Running backs aren't going to do anything against the Chiefs. That's been the case all year long too. So mute your expectations this week. You may have to play Edwards just because of By-Mageddon.
If you're forced to start one, Edwards or Vidal, who's it going to be in a PPR?
It's Edwards for me. I understand Vidal might be more of a pass catcher, but I don't think they trust him.
The other backfield where there could be a bust this week is the Chiefs backfield. You have Kareem Hunt, who did a great job, carrying the mail for the Chiefs while Pacheco was out. But even though Isaiah Pacheco only had a handful of carries, the first one was like a 30-yarder. So is Kareem Hunt now, if we forced to start him in this week, is he going to be a bust?
He's a backup now. I put him in the Jalen Warren, Ray Davis class. And, that's fine. You might have to use that, but Pacheco is going to be the guy that gets more work than Hunt this week, barring a setback. I think you could just see in the running styles that Pacheco is more dynamic, angry at the ground running style, as people have commented before on Pacheco. With the the long prep week too, 10 days to get ready for this game. They're going to work him in a little bit more.
One of the worst picks in the first round this year, and there's been plenty, but Tyreek Hill, man, this is not this is below the level of floor.
I've got him at 18. It's the lack of explosive plays. That's the thing that concerns me. We've seen one explosive play all year from him, basically. In week 1 against the Jaguars, that miracle play. Since then, it hasn't really clicked at all. I mean, he scored the fluke touchdown on Thanksgiving night, where he wasn't even the intended receiver.
Right. Would you take Tyreek Hill in the second round of drafts next year?
No, not today. If you're asking me right now, today, no.
Brian Thomas Jr., the good-looking rookie on the Jacksonville Jaguars, is going to have Mac Jones thrown to him. Is he going to be a bust for fantasy managers that are expecting high-end production this week?
I don't think most fantasy managers are expecting high-end production anymore. I think we've been beaten down so badly by the Jaguars offense. I mean, we've seen this Mac Jones movie before. Yeah, I'd say, if you're holding high hopes, you'll probably be disappointed. You're going to get some target volume at least. He and Parker Washington and Evan Ingram. I mean, it's a very narrow treat. Those are the 3 guys they're throwing to. Thomas is going to get 8 to 10 targets. The quality of those targets is a question there. You need one of those crossing patterns like he had last week against the Texans to get the yards after catch, because the deep ball, Mac Jones just can't hit.
Another rookie, Xavier Worthy, he was giving us goose eggs, but he's had a double-digit fantasy point floor. They seem to be getting him involved more, but you just have him buried in your rankings, and for good reason. Is Xavier Worthy going to be a bust this week in Week 14?
I might be a little uncharitable in my ranking on Worthy there, because I had him in a league, and I was so sick and tired of getting 0s and 1s and 2s, and 1 foot's out of bounds on this wide-open long ball here thing. Yeah. I got frustrated, perhaps, because that happened like multiple times in standalone games, and you start to see that you kind of like get that feeling with him, but maybe he should probably be in like the 35 to 40 range instead of buried in the 50s where I have him.
Last player I want to ask you about is Deebo Samuel. He has been more or less, it's the worst kind of player. You're forced to start him because of the name brand, and I'm assuming you don't have anyone better than him. And then all of a sudden, I mean, you put him in there, and he's giving you single-digit fantasy points. I mean, if you're looking at Deebo Samuel versus like Nick Westbrook-Akine this week, who do you prefer?
I prefer the waiver wire almost at this point. Yeah, you're right, though. You are forced to play him. I've got Deebo in there at 34, Westbrook-Ikhine at 37. If Westbrook-Ikhine had more of a floor in terms of volume, I think I would make the switch. But, last week he got 8 targets, but usually it's like 4 to 6 targets, and that's kind of tough.
All right, if you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to get notified when RotoWire puts up new video content every single day. And right now, you can check out what's behind RotoWire's paywall for free. Just go to rotowire.com/try.